Britain's grooming gang shame is a lesson in what can happen when people are too afraid of being called racist to do something about a problem. The vulnerable working-class white girls of Newcastle, Rotherham, Rochdale, Keighley, Aylesbury, Oxford, Peterborough and Telford know only too well about how police and politicians sacrifice them at the altar of political correctness. In the vast majority of cases, the perpetrators were overwhelmingly a combination of depraved monsters from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladeshi origin. Numerous reports, like the one into the Telford scandal that saw more than 1,000 girls tortured, raped and abused, have said that fears of being labelled a racist prevented authorities from acting. But after coming under huge pressure from GB News and a few other voices as well, the government set up a grooming gang task force. And now the results are in. The Home Office said that the task force has trained hundreds of specialist officers to investigate child sexual exploitation, who have worked with all 42 police forces in England and Wales, generating some 550 arrests and protecting around 4,000 victims. This is good news. However, I have serious reservations about this. Has it dealt with the root cause? Has it done anything to change the mindset of people within certain communities who feel as though they can treat vulnerable working-class white girls like pieces of meat? Is there any evidence at all to suggest that the fear of being called a racist for pointing out a clear and obvious problem has gone away? Do you, the public, have confidence that this problem has actually gone away? I certainly don't. And I have huge concerns that we might be importing people from countries where their attitudes towards young women are vastly different, and that this problem is actually going to get worse. I also have no confidence in the establishment media, that they are any more likely to call this problem out, to investigate it. I will never forget that the BBC barely reported on the Telford grooming gang scandal, and also they did some unholy PR work for two Syrian asylum seeker brothers who went on to commit horrific attacks in Newcastle. But more than that, we are not doing everything that we can to get convicted grooming gang monsters out of the country. Take the case of the Rochdale groomers Adil Khan and Kwari Abdul Rauf, who have managed to rack up millions of pounds in legal aid, reportedly, who are scheduled for deportation. They were years ago and are still prowling the streets. They are of dual Pakistani and British heritage, and Pakistan is refusing to take them back. Well, we should be forcing Pakistan to take them and others like them. And we can. The Nationality and Borders Act introduced a power to impose visa penalties on countries that do not cooperate on the removal of its nationals who do not have a right to be in the UK. Now, last year, we issued, apparently, 55,000 visas to Pakistan. We also gave millions in foreign aid and billions were sent back in remittances. So, it's time to start throwing our weight around, isn't it? Something that our reporter, Charlie Peters, put directly to Safeguarding Minister Lorda Farris.
I'd have to look into the details of which people they haven't accepted as returns, but it is a principle of our domestic law that if a person has a sentence of 2 years or longer and they're not a British national, they qualify for automatic deportation following the conclusion of their sentence. So the deportation of foreign national offenders is embedded in our law. And from what you're saying, although I don't know the exact detail, yes, it sounds sensible.
It sounds sensible. That's actually quite a big development, really, but it begs the question, why on earth aren't we doing this? Slash the visas, slash the foreign aid, slash the remittances, get these monsters off our streets and out of our country.